Good morning, late night Cappy. It's going to be echoey Cappy because I don't have my recording studio. I'm at a hotel. And I don't know, of course, we're going to have to do it this way. We'll just do it this way. I don't know how the bandwidth is because the hotel's internet screwed up. And yeah, so hi Cappy. I'll try to keep this short and to the point. I graduated with a degree during COVID and jumped into a cushy full time contractor position, $45 per hour for a place. All right, you contract. All right. You had some previous dealings with them when you were a student. They are gearing up to hire me as an employee once this term ends, but I've made my own LLC. I was also courting other businesses for a better rate, lower hour contracts. 60. See, you millennials do your voice to text, and that's going to cost you jobs. It pisses me off to no end. That I want to use to leverage in those talks. I've got my contract. I've got my contract I can base future contracts on, but what are some must have terms and sections to include if a smart person is being offered W 2, but wants contractor through their LLC? All renewals, IP term, hourly, weekly obligations, etc., and pointers around how to structure those. I'd assume that when you are negotiating for a potential salary position, there are things you could try to include that any old contractor solicitation normally might not. Takes ahead of time for the cheat sheet, Cappy. Thanks. So I was a little confused about this, Sid. Well, do you have other contracts and gigs with other companies right now, or is the LLC a contingency should you get extra work? It says currently the LLC is only a contingency. I formed it in March for any prospects I'm working that pan out. It's also to wrap around track expenses and separate costs for other few products that I'm working on. It's just once they reach a state of core commercialization, hopefully later on. That's smart. Yeah, keep it separate. They want to okay. I'm busting my butt off to see if any of those pan out in the next 2 to 4 weeks because I know it's important to line them up. I remember you mentioning in some of your recent videos about going 1099 or a couple of months back, and that particular hurdle doesn't seem to be as big of an issue in this company since they've probably brought on about 30 contractors to the division I'm working in. 25 of those probably East Indians, though. Since I started there, I thought it might be easier to stay a contractor than to try and switch out to a W 2 later down the line. I've already saved up 40,000 from this, so the absolute worst overaction that could happen is they threaten to give me my free time back. So you want to work contractor with them. All right. What would really help is if you had some contracts from other employers, but you don't. And what you could tell them, and it's this is just being perfectly honest, to say, look, I'd like to remain a contractor. And they'll be like, what? Because most people don't think. You say, I get write-offs. My health insurance is cheaper, and they'll say, but we'll pay for it. It's like, yeah, but you're going to take it out of my salary. Just pay me the extra hourly rate. And that's not an irrational bump up from your current pay to what you'd like, because basically healthcare and all the other costs, that'll add like another 20%. So if you go as a contractor, say I'm a contractor, I'd like to remain a contractor, hourly, and then that way they can't screw you over for overtime and like, well, your salary, that's the benefit of being. I don't know what the benefit of being salaried is. No one's ever explained that to me. I'm like, okay, so I don't get tax deductions. I can't work for other people. I can't work for the competition. And my healthcare is pretty cheap anyway. Um, so before, I mean, the time that if you want to swing it, be perfectly honest, say, yeah, I like the tax deductions. I can find healthcare cheaper. And I prefer to be a contractor. Now you're also going to have to, now here's the thing is if you go work for this company, they might have you sign a non-compete agreement, which means you can't work on the side. And so what you could say is like, I also would want to work on the side on my own business. Now, is that going to be an issue? Which is a fair question because sometimes these companies have issues like, oh no, you can't work on this. I think, what was it? was it Goldman Sachs that like you couldn't work on the side or something? Not even for the competitor. You just couldn't have your own side. You'd be shocked how many businesses like you can't work. Your job is here. It's like shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Um, they may have an issue, and it might be a legitimate issue. It's like you can't work for the competition doing what you do for us. And so I think that would be that's fair on their part too. But you're going to have to ask them to say, look, I'd prefer to maintain my contractor status, but I'd like to be bumped up to this hourly rate. If they say why, just say because of the tax benefits, and I can find health insurance pretty cheaply. But also be honest with them. But I also fully intend on drumming up some side business. Now, is job here, but is there some kind of when they say no, you can't work for other people? Well, then you can do a cost benefit analysis. Now, should I be self-employed? Should I be a contractor and just work for them, or should I become the W-2 employee? Like the bank in Rapid City that was like, we're not sure about you teaching ballroom dance. Oh, I bet you're not sure about me about the fuck your wife. That so in your particular case, say, but you have to disclose that with like that would not take away from my performance here. Is that could be an issue? If they say yes, it's like, okay, well then you don't do it in front of their face. Then you don't do it at work. You go there, you work, and then you set up an anonymous LLC through New Mexico or Wyoming or I think Delaware. You have a registered agent fill out the paperwork for you, and then you operate. You don't put your face on the website, and you just operate under the name Vlad Elkums. You operate under the name Vlad Elkums, and that's your workaround for that. Um, what are some must-have in terms and sections? Did you use the right vocabulary to include if a smart person is being offered W-2 but wants contractor through their LLC auto renewals, IP terms? Dude, I don't think you're in a position right now to be requiring auto renewals, IP terms, um, hourly versus weekly obligation. Well, your duties and obligations, but um, the thing with contracting is, and you may have to have this conversation with them, is like, I'm paid by the hour, right? You want me to come in on weekends? You're paying me by the hour. And by the way, you pay, well, I don't know if you give them the LLC. Yeah, you'd have to give them the LLC. Then you set up another LLC to run your, that might be the way to do it. Maybe you just get paid by your current employer in one LLC, and the second LLC, you run your actual consulting or ancillary moonlighting business out of it. But I would not get too arrogant and cocky with this. I want auto renewals. You'll take what they give you and you'll like it, and then what you end up becoming is the indispensable contractor, and they automatically renew it because they need you. You sound like you got a bigger dick than you do going in here these negotiations when it's like, okay, you've worked for them a little bit before, and it's perfectly reasonable to say, I'd like to be a contractor. I just like to remain a contractor, but bump me up to the hourly rate you'd like. And then you're going to have to find out if you can work on the side. And if they say no, it's like, well, okay, then I guess your name is Atham Aldecua, and you run an LLC out of Reno, Nevada, and no one sees your face. It's just amazing who you might be. I would try to, depending on the nature of your business, which I think you could do, is get remote work from home, at least part time privileges. Um, But you can't go in there with your small dick that you think is big and swinging it because you don't have any other contractors. You don't have any other sources of income. If you did, you could say, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. This is a goal. I was thinking about writing an article about it where you are so busy and you have so many clients that you have to turn down work. And you're like, I'm sorry, I'd like to help you out, but I make too much money. I've already got more work than I need, more than I can handle. And if you want me to do, I don't have time to piss away commuting for some boomer bitch or bastard. All right. I need that time to work. And I am not coming into an office. But you're not at the position yet. You're just starting out. Look, you're like, I want to go all in with my chips. It's like, dude, you've got one card dealt to you. Hold off. Wait, do you have several cards? Wait, do you have several clients? Wait, do you have several jobs? Then you can start swinging your moderately sized dick around and having requirements. But this one, what I would do with this company is take the job one way or the other. It sounds like you like it. Sounds like you're working there. And then do the thing on the side. And then you could be perfectly honest because you got one source of income, W-2 or not, already taken care of. And if someone says, well, we'd like to hire, like, hey, you know what? I don't need the money because I got to fill it. So if you're going to pay me, you're going to pay me what's right or what I need. And that'd be $100 an hour or something like that. So there we go. Hey guys, tell me how the the video quality is. Is it sketchy? Give me 1 if it's good, 0 if it's bad. Bacon, the goddamn bacon, at thegoddamnbacon.com for 223. Thanks for the plug last week. Yeah, I'm trying to promote. I'm trying to calm down and not do all work all the time. I'm trying to do some videos I want to do, and there's been some people I want to help out who also have good podcasts. Bacon's not one of them. I just felt sad for him. No, check out his podcast at the goddamn Bacon. I'm going to probably download some of your stuff, Bacon, because I got to go hike Harney's Peak tomorrow. I don't have to. I choose to. One, everything's coming in. Oh, good. That's good. I was a little bit worried. Thanks, guys. Tanisha, we got a black girl in here. What the hell's going on? Who let her? Atham again's not watching the door. He's letting women in. They're gonna get in here and they're gonna do their women things. Fred Freeman Sowell for $1 super sticker, which I don't have. All right, that's it. All the goddamn one, but it was freezing earlier. Yeah, okay, could be. So this is gonna be the quality, guys. Terribly sorry until I figure out the internet. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.